Everybody all done with Catalyst now? They're ready for something else? Let me go ahead and answer the question. It's probably burning everybody's mind. How does Catalyst affect FSS? I don't know. I have no answers for you. We're gonna treat it like Y2K and just see what happens. So they didn't give me any information. I'm gonna go through a couple of presentations today. Actually, it reminds me, I just started the wrong one. I'm gonna go through pretty fast. They got me slotted here for 45 minutes, so we're gonna do the best we can to get through this here quickly. If I go too fast, just reach out to your FSS champion, reach out to your district manager. We'll get the information that you need to catch you up. So we're gonna talk, this is the presentation. So who are my champions in the room? 1, 2, 3. So this is kind of the presentation that you would be doing to your district, whether it's over WebEx or in person. I'm gonna take care of it today. I'm gonna go through it kind of quick, and then we'll get into the training, the 5+1 training that we're gonna do. So we've had a change in stance starting in June. When we built the web tool for everybody and we released it, I think we released it in February, either February or March. We kind of released it with the idea of like, here's another idea, here's another way you can put in orders, it's kind of cool, it's kind of fun to use. We've switched that in June. We want the web tool that we built for you to be your primary means of interaction with FSS. And the reason why is a couple of things. One, you get a lot more functionality out of the tool than you're gonna get out of G360. You get your customer's contract retail pricing, that loads in there. If you're working with a corporate account, it's going to pull out, when you use a tool, it'll pull out items that they're restricted from. So when we talk about the training, we talk about the 5+1 training. We're going to be talking about different areas and different zones that you can sell in. You can use the tool to find out, can my Buffalo Wild Wings buy that? Can my Dave & Buster's buy that? Or whatever corporate account you have, because if they are restricted from anything, it'll be pulled out of the tool so you can't see it. You get access to shipping information, open invoices, order history, what they like to order, when they've ordered, everything. So it's a way to keep an eye on your customer. You get a lot more functionality G360. What do we get out of it, out of FSS? When you use the tool to place an order, it slams the order straight into Dallas for us. Makes it very, very easy for us to process the order. The order is built in a way that we need very, very little human interaction. It goes right to our fulfillment center. We pack it and usually have it on a truck within about a half hour to an hour of you putting in the order. When you use G360, it stays local to your drive. At some point in the day you communicate, sends it up to Egan, bounces through a couple of servers, they pull that file apart, send it to a couple other people. We don't get it for a few hours and we have no control over that portal. So when you call us with an order problem and we don't see the order, we can't do anything. We can't look into it because we don't own that portal, but we own this portal. So our change moving forward, we want you to use the web tool to put in an order. Couple of things, I want to talk about 4 things and I'll open it up for questions on the web tool. 1, speed. Anybody who's used this tool before knows it was slow. When you logged in, it took 2 or 3 minutes just to load the account list. It wasn't overly functional. We fixed that. It should be much faster now. It should operate the way you expect it to operate by using a tool like this. 2, in the process of us fixing the speed issue, we broke ordering for a lot of people. That's been fixed. So if last week or the week before you were trying to use a tool, you were trying to process an order, you were getting weird errors, don't worry about it, it's been fixed. Go ahead and use the tool again and use it moving forward. 2 things we're working on. Shipping. First thing is shipping. When you use the tool, you're gonna see $9.95 shipping. The customer doesn't get $9.95 shipping. The engine that we use that generates the tool for you, that generates from the code, is very, very similar to the engine. It's pulling from the same database that generates the website for the retail customer. That $9.95 shipping is only for them when they log into their retail version of the website. We're working on that, we're fixing it, just bear with us. Ignore it, don't tell the customer they get $10 shipping. 2, we're working on the lag problem with the tool. Right now, there's a 60 to 90-day lag before this tool goes into effect if there's been any change in alignment. This includes being promoted from TMIT to TM, being assigned a different district, opening a new customer. If there was a change, there's some, with all that lost compass and Aramark business, we've been dissolving areas and we've been dissolving territories and routes and kind of reassigning customers. Anytime there's been a change in alignment, it's going to take 60 or 90 days for the tool to come active for you. You're kind of forced to use G360 in the meantime. We're working on that. We're trying to get that down to 30 days. There's no ETA on when we're going to be able to do that, but we're working on it. We're aware of it. Those 4 things aside, we're going to watch a video on the tool now. Let's watch the video first, and then I'll open it up for questions for everybody on using the tool. Do we have volume?
Did you plug the green cord in?
No.
Yeah, I can use it.
In addition to accessing customer pricing, order history, and invoices, begin by going to foodsafety.ecolab.com. Select Sign In from the top right of it.
Broke it. Super smooth.
Right of the page. Instead of using your email address, enter your 5-digit employee ID number. For your password, enter your last name in all caps. Make sure to include any hyphens and remove any spaces. Enter your last name as one word. You will see a list of current customers. Use the text fields to order by account number or account name. Or use the ascending and descending arrows to sort from the column headers. When you find the account you'd like to place an order for, click on Select Account. Notice the top right corner now shows a welcome greeting for the account you selected. You are now viewing the site exactly as the customer sees it, including their specific pricing. To order products for your customer, simply select an item and quantity, then click Add to Cart. To reorder frequently purchased items, select Cart in the top right of the page. On the cart page, you will see a blue bar referencing the items bought most often. Once all items have been added, select Begin Checkout and provide the required information to submit the order. To view your customer's order history, look for the My Account link in the top right of the page. In the menu that pulls down, select Order History. Click on the tracking number to view the shipping status. Customer invoices are also in the My Account link. Open My Account and select View Pay Invoices for the full list of this customer's open invoices. To view account information for another customer, select Manage Accounts from the top right of the page. This will take you back to your list of current customers. For more information, search Ecolab Sales Support for the document name, Placing Orders for Customers via FSS website.
All right, pretty cool. Is this the first time anybody's seen this tool or heard about it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, some of us have seen it, whichever. Any questions at all in regards to using the tool, questions about the portal, anything that has to do with using the web tool? Go ahead.
Just the only thing I've noticed when I've used it, and I was wondering if the video was going to show it, was like, so like the 3 buy 3 get the 4th label free. Where do you put like promos in, or is there like a drop down or something like that that'll?
So the what he's talking about is the promos to put in. So if we use it in G360, we know we have to put the promo in to the PO field. That's one of the problems for us at FSS, because it takes a human to recognize that there's 2 numbers in there, especially if a customer does use POs. When you go to checkout, it didn't show you in the video, but when you go to checkout, we have separate fields for PO and for promotion codes. So just pay attention to it. It's very intuitive when you go through it. Put the PO in the PO field, put the promo in the promo field. Any other questions?
Looks like this is an online only.
It is online only. Yeah, so you'll have to use your hotspot. As we're rolling out new, I see we got mostly Lenovo's in here. As you get the new HPs, you're going to have the cellular card in there, so you should always be connected to the internet whenever you're on your computer. In the meantime, you'll have to use your.
We don't have a date yet.
Yeah. Sorry if I blew up anybody's spot there. I need a replacement. Everybody's throwing their Lenovo's now after today. But yes, it is, to his point, it is online only. So, and also keep in mind, if you're going to be placing orders for the customer, we're going to talk about in the 5+1 training, we're going to talk about the difference between you placing the order for yourself using the tool or for setting the customer up with the retail website. But do something in the RSC, throw something in there if you're going to place an order at the bare minimum if they don't use a PO or something and you got a verbal authorization from somebody that you're going to place an order for them later, throw something in the PO field just so you have something, audit trail, who authorized it, who okayed it. because that's one of the differences when you place an order via G360 and they sign off on it, it's right there. So if there's any questions, you're like, Laura signed off on it, so we sent it in. Where right now, if you place it like that, there's nothing that connects it to the G360 portal. So this is the sheet that they reference in the line about placing orders. There actually is some good information. This sheet's about 4 pages long. This information is not overly important. Placing orders is very easy. It's very user intuitive, but there is more information later on in the sheet that talks about setting up multiple addresses. So if you have a customer that's taking in, that has multiple locations, but they have one billing address, and you're placing the orders, you're going to be able to set up multiple addresses in there and set it up. So that's some of the information that's listed on the rest of the pages of the sheet. This talks about the difference in the PO and the promo field, as it was asked about. So that's it. Any more questions on the tool? I know I'm going quick. All right. This is the promotion to help you guys get after June and crush June. So we're doing 10% off everything in the catalog and free shipping. Free shipping's up to 25 pounds. Promo code's PM001. This is a great time to get after anything that's heavy and bulky. Floor mats, Duralock, care pods, stuff that costs a lot of money to ship, and leverage that free shipping to try to get an order there in the house.
You just said up to 25 pounds.
250 pounds. Did I say 25? I'm sorry, 250 pounds. 250 pounds. If you do have customers that are leaning on mats, why don't you get to them in the next couple weeks? Keep in mind, when the shipment gets very heavy, and we're talking about 250 pounds, it could flip over to LTL, which means we're going to ship it freight. As soon as it ships freight, we have a different SLA of getting it out of the door. So even if you process the order online and it slams into us this day, it might take, our different SLA for LTL orders is 5 to 7 business days. Long and short, don't drop in $5 grand worth of floor mats on the 28th expecting it to post for June, because we're probably not going to get it out of the door in time. It's going to ship at the beginning of July. So if you have any customers that are right on the edge of some mat orders, or you think you can get a good bit mat order, go after them first in the next couple weeks. Let's get that order in so we can make sure we get it out on the truck and post it for you guys for June.
This is about one time use.
Oh, use it as many times you want.
So if you need to split the order.
Absolutely. So if you have a big mat order, so our mats, which is different, it's one of the ways that you can market them. Our mats, aside from being very, very high quality, and we have won major bids going head to head with Pepsi Challenges. I came from the Las Vegas market. We won about $75,000 in mat business at the Win, going head to head against Waxy, Uline, and one other supplier I forgot on a 3-month test in the kitchens. Our mats are kick-ass. They're really, really nice, and they only weigh 22 pounds. So use that number in your head when you got to chunk it and break it up into 250-pound segments. So if you have a big mat order, just put it in as separate orders under 250 pounds, and just utilize the promo code to get free shipping.
It's retail price, so does that apply to a customer's discounted corporate pricing?
No.
Or just the book price?
Off retail price. Off retail price. So if you have a customer that has very, very strong pricing, use your tool. Your tool will tell you what their pricing is, and you've got the catalog, and go to the retail website, figure out retail pricing. If their negotiated contract price is better than 10% off, don't put in that order. That's one of those exceptions. You can call in that order. Call it in, tell them I need to put in this order. I want to use the promo for the free shipping, but let's utilize the regular contract price because it's better than the 10% off price. Any other questions? All right. This is the back side. I'm going to talk about this sheet a little bit more in depth. Right now, this is the back of the promo sheet. We are not printing these promo sheets out, so if you do want them, you can go out there and you can download them, you can get them. All of my champions have the link to the sheet, and so do all your district managers. This is the back of the sheet right now. So out on ESS, to get access to this, you have to go get the promo, and this is page 2 of the promo, or the back of the sheet. After the promo ends, we're gonna re-upload this sheet. You all have a copy of it, and I'm gonna go more into detail about this sheet in our training following this. And I don't care. You can print it out and circle it, whichever. I mean, you don't got to worry too much about that. Okay, so here's our chatter contest. How many people in here are aware that we have a chatter contest? 1, 2, 3. You got a couple. Okay. Long and short, chatter. Here's my pro chatter moment. How many people in here use chatter? Couple of them, 1, 2. How many people in here want a promotion? How many people in here want to go somewhere in the company? Get on chatter. There is no single better self-promotion tool at this company than chatter. If you're not on it, That probably means you like exactly what you're doing and you want to be doing it in 10 years. You have to get on Chatter. Your district managers know how hard you guys work. They're very, very close to you. You need to get that information further out. You need to get it to Jake. You need to get it out further to Myers. You need to let people see what you're doing and to tap into your energy. There's no better promotion tool at this company other than Chatter. You guys really, really should be on it. What does the company get out of you guys being on Chatter? Why do we care? Why is it on there? We use it as a way to help train the new guys. When you're on there and you're sharing a story and you're sharing a win and you tell the story of how you won that business, you're not bragging. You're not doing. I mean, you could be, depending on how you posted it. We really don't want to see those posts that are out there. But when you share the story, the hope is that somebody who hasn't had a win in a week or two reads that and says, I've had that conversation. I've been in that position before. That's how they pitch it. That's how I got it. That's what the company gets out of it. What you get out of it is recognition, is that people will see what you're doing. People outside of your local area are going to see what you're doing. What the company gets out of it is hopefully more sales and a teaching tool for everybody. So please interact with Chatter. To that, we've been running a contest since January. So nobody knows about the contest. We've run it since January. Every month, we pick 5 people. Well, between 3 and 5 people. What we look for is telling a story, having fun with the post. It's not driven by computers. It's picked by a human being, and we're not looking for any specific numbers, so don't worry. We're not just picking the guys from Vegas with the big casinos that are slinging $8,000 FSS orders left and right. We're looking for a story. $200 wins, $100 wins, whichever. Is it positive? Did you tell a story about how you won it? And these are the winners that we have this month. William, Rick, Michael, Brian, and Richard. I got to take a little bit of credit here because I've been pushing the Chatter program. 4 of the 5 winners are all in my region, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I really like Richard's post right here. This is the post I like the most out of the 5 that are picked. We talked about at the beginning of the year getting back to basics, doing demonstrations, breaking this job back down and making it simple. He set out to sell urinal screens to 12 of his customers, sold all 12 of them. Huh?
Yeah, Richard's in the room right now.
Oh man, I forgot I was in the WCA. What's going on there, Richard? Look at that. See, I've been saying that exact thing to everybody, and I forgot that you're in the room.
I figured that you just picked that one because you said
No, absolutely not. It went right over my head. Go ahead, stand up. Tell everybody about this. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah, so we had this conversation in our last meeting about the urinal hogs and my success with it. It's one of those products that I've taken in, and it legitimately sells itself to customers. Most customers don't have people coming up to them and saying, what are you doing for urinal screens? Either they don't have them, or B, they're buying some cheap ones that are ineffective, they last for a couple days of aroma, and then they're trashed. I took these splash hogs into 12 customers, and I sold it to every single one. Easily, not like, well, hey, maybe I'll give you a deal. Very easily, showed it to them. Like, I don't even have to like put it in place to demo.
How did you demonstrate it?
Literally just
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Good question. So generally speaking, I normally leave them in the bag, and you can effectively smell it through the plastic. And if a customer ever was like, I don't know, $50 for some urinal screens, I get it for $8. Open it up, and I guarantee you within 30 seconds he's gonna say, deal. Because just the aroma that comes out of those things whenever you open them up in front of a customer is just mind-boggling.
It's a high aroma, huh?
How many come in a pack? Specifically one time, I actually had specifically I actually had one of these still in the bag, and I had it in my full bag getting ready to demo to him, and a customer walked by me and said, what is that smell? It smells amazing. And I was like, oh, well, here, I'm going to show this to you in a little bit, but great transition. It's a great product to sell.
Good stuff. Thanks for sharing. We're going to go a little bit more into bathroom beyond just the urinal screens. This can be part of the next demonstration. We're cool. We're done there. Any questions or anything? So I blew through it. I know I went really fast. That's about a half hour's information blown through. It was about as fast as I can get through it. Does anybody have any questions about what we went over? The web tool, the FSS Chatter contest, or the promotion for June and July? All right. I'm trying to stay on track, trying to get all this out of here in 45 minutes. Okay, I've been calling this 5+1 training And this is, again, this is kind of getting back to what we were talking about at Cascade at the beginning of the year. FSS is great. I love FSS. I sold a shitload of it my last year as being a TM. I love the division. It's something that the Autochlor guy doesn't have, the diversity guy doesn't have. You guys have FSS, you have Rayburn, you have water. You can take care of everything. And we started looking at FSS in the same kind of terms as institutional. What do we have that's repeatable? How can we grow without having to worry about selling again next year? You know, who loves selling $2,000 booster heaters? That's great, right? What's the problem with selling a $2,000 booster heater? Next year you got to sell 2. Like, it's a problem. Like, eventually you hit a point where you can't keep up with it. This 5+1 training that we're about to go through, these are all repeatable categories. Your back's not up against anything. It's no different than adding another chemical on the wall. This is stuff that's you can honestly grow inside your account. Almost all of it also happens to count as OTS. So we're not really getting into the whole catalog and all the cool things that FSS sells, and trust, there's a bunch of cool things out there. If you haven't gotten your hands on a full-size catalog, go ahead and get one. Welcome to FSS. You guys know who we are. I'm going to skip the web tool since it was part of the champion program that I just blew through. And we're going to get into 5+1 core selling categories. I'm going to talk about the diversity and P&G promo. FSS is in the fight with you guys. Chatter contest, I'm going to skip that as well because we already talked about it. FSS sales tools that are available to you. We're going to talk about customer website setup and why it's important. That's a very, very big one. And then we'll open it up for discussion. Please, I know I go fast. I want this to be interactive, and I'm going extra fast today. Raise your hand, let me know, let me see if you have a question. I will stop. Let's keep it interactive and keep it going. So FSS, as I was mentioning, it's an awesome category. It's a killer division. It's a lot of stuff that our customers need. And right now they're getting it from Restaurant Depot. They might be getting it from whatever supplier that they're ordering it from, be it Cisco or Shiitakis or whoever it is that's out there. It's a lot of stuff in this 5+1 categories are a lot of stuff that they're mandated to have. We're talking about first aid. We're talking about food rotation labels. We're talking about gloves. It's stuff every single one of your customers need to have. Helps you hit your own-the-shelf number. You know, wouldn't you rather sell a $300 care pod that's got a 3-screw install that takes about 3 minutes to hang up, or a pump motor, or some other device? And I'm not bagging Rayburn, but there's usually install involved when you sell Rayburn. There's rarely ever install involved when we're talking about the 5+1 categories that we sell. In 2018, the FSS average for core and OTS was about $90 a day. So we come in at about half, and I think we can increase that. I think it's an easier number to hit with FSS, especially considering they're still counting gloves as OTS. That's probably gone next year because we've had TMs all over the country winning $5,000 a year glove business at accounts and just blowing their OTS number right out of the water. So I'm pretty sure we're going to pull gloves out the same way we pulled out labels and bags. But as of right now, gloves counts. Everything but labels, bags, that's it for right now. Labels and portion bags. Everything else in the catalog counts as OTS. I'm going to skip that because we already did it.
I didn't think Durlock mops and squeegees replacements were.
It does. They do.
It does?
Yep. It all still comes up. Basically, you have two. When you look in your reports, you have 2 lines for FSS. We don't break it down like your chemistry lines. We only have 2 lines on your compensation reporting. It's day dots and labels, which is labels, gloves, labels and bags, and then day dots other, or food safety other. Currently, Durlock and all the refills still fall under other. If it falls under other, it counts as OTS. So this is the 5+1 core categories. Labels. We always want to lead with labels. Gloves. Testing supplies. We're talking your QT40 test strips, your chlorine test strips, disposable thermometers, those little $2.50 thermometers that we have, the little dial ones. We've got Fryolator test strips. If you have customers with Victory or AFVT, we have those test strips. Don't order this stuff from Econet and give it away for free. This is real easy sales when you're out there to gather for testing supplies. Almost every one of your customers probably needs test strips every time you're in there. QT40 expire, so do chlorine, check the date. Everybody that I ride with, we're pulling out their QT40s that their customers expired in 2013, expired in 2016. Obviously, they're not checking their sanitizer. Help these people, get them new rolls, make sure we're training them that they have to be checking this stuff a couple times a day. And you're not doing it to sell them more QT40. We're doing it so they don't get dinged with their quat bucket being down, so they don't get dinged with their sink being down. They have to know that they have to check this stuff at least a couple times a shift. Oh, sorry, CarePod, Duralox and mops, and that +1 category is the bathroom. So the 5 are all kitchen and arguably are all required. The only one that's a little bit weird is the floor tools. They're not required to have floor tools, but they're required to have clean, safe floors. So they're gonna use floor tools, they have to have it. That's the 5, the +1 is a restroom category. We're gonna talk about that as we get a little bit more into it. So we're back at this sheet, that sheet in front of you. How powerful is that sheet in front of you? How about $2,900 to $5,500 per year per customer if you could lock up all 6 categories? Think about that. That's including the customers you haven't thought about in a year. Those $1,000, $1,500 3 comp and mop closet accounts that you don't have a monthly commitment to, you probably haven't been to in a year, you only go to when they call with an ESR. They're using labels, they're using gloves, they have floor tools, they need first aid. This sheet can be applied to every single customer that's out there. Now, does that mean that every single one of your customers can grow with that much? No, because you're probably already selling labels to some of them, you probably already have Duralock in some of them. I'm just saying, if a customer wasn't using all 6 categories and you got all 6 categories, you could grow that customer by almost $5 grand. On average, this is on average. We've got TMs winning glove business for $5 grand a year. It's bonkers. Like these are huge categories. All this is grow, and these are all programs that you're starting for. You get a customer in labels, you get a customer into gloves. It's no different than hanging another dispenser on the wall, getting in grease strip, getting in another chemistry. It's the same idea. It's all grow, it's gonna sell itself, it's repeatable. Labels are typically worth $900 to $1,200 a year. That's $75 to $100 a month is usually what most customers will spend on food rotation labels. Gloves, $1,200 to $3,000 a year for gloves. We're going to talk about gloves a little bit later. Testing supplies, that's when we get into the QT40 test strips, the chlorine test strips, everything else. $300 to $400 a year. Floor tools is $100, $200 a year. That's at the refill price. Remember, when you sell Duralock, you get a nice big hit. It's about a $350 hit. It's a nice hit when you initially sell it. That $100 to $200, that's what the refills are worth every single year. First aid, same idea. It's $150 to $300 a year. That's just in refills of what they're doing. Restrooms, $300 to $450 a year. We're going to talk about restrooms in a little bit. This is all grow. Almost all of it is OTS. All repeatable sales. No ESRs. Almost no install.
Just
3
to get
screws.
a better idea, like what's a chemical spend for a customer like that? Just
Hand soap, $750 a year.
no, I just meant all together. These numbers all on FSS. Is this like an $8,000 chemical spend customer, and you had all these programs?
This is any customer in your book of business.
Okay.
Any customer in your book of business is spending about this. And if they're not buying it from you, they're buying it from somebody. So there's no minimum. You're not going after your big customers. You're not going to target $20,000. Every single customer in your book of business, you can grow with FSS inside there and not have to worry about selling. It's not like selling them a booster heater where you're going to have to do it next year. This sheet is super important. I see this sheet as able to be used a couple different ways. There's digital copies of it. Everybody should have it on their phone. Every single ESR and RSC reference this sheet. Every time you're in there, you want to identify these 6 categories. What's the customer using? What are they using for labels? What are they using for gloves? Are they getting them from you? Can you help them with it? Are they using latex? Are they using a clear glove? Are they using tape? Are they using a competitive label? We're going to talk about a couple of that. I'm going to try to stay on track here. We're going to talk about a couple of different ways to position these different things. So labels, $75 to $100 per year. There's 3 things you're going to see with labels when you're out on the street. You're selling against tape, you're selling against masking tape, you're selling against blue tape, or you're selling against competitive label. First one, masking tape. If you have a customer that's using masking tape, they have a problem and you can help them. They have a residual adhesive and paper problem. If you see masking tape, get happy. Start smiling. This is typically a really easy sell. You walk straight into their you walk straight to their clean pan shelf. There's going to be adhesive and paper on their clean pans. There's a health code violation. Very, very simple. A label has to do 2 things in its entire life and 2 things only. display the information that it has to have, which by most municipalities at a minimum is the expiry date of the food, the use by date of the food, and he needs to get off that pan and leave nothing behind. If there's adhesive and paper, they're not in compliance with the health department, and you can help them by putting them on a proper label. If they're using blue tape, you got a problem you can help them with. They're wasting money. Take out your phones. Walk through their walk-in cooler. If that piece of blue tape is a large format phone, like anybody that's got like an iPhone Plus or one of the big Galaxies, it's about 6.5 to 7 inches. 7 inches. If the blue tape piece is larger than your phone, it's already more expensive than a proper label. They're not even saving any money. They're using a crap system. They have a craft food rotation system, and they're paying extra money for it. Arguably, blue tape does come off. They probably don't have a residual adhesive and paper problem if they're using blue tape. Now, what if they're using masking tape and you walk to the clean aisle? Because Aaron just told you, he can guaranteed that they have a problem. Well, what if they're using masking tape and you walk to their clean pans and you don't find any residual adhesive and any residual paper? What's their problem? How can you help them? Labor. They got a kick-ass dishwasher. They got a guy who's really doing his job, but he's hemorrhaging labor to do it because that shit won't come off a pan. There's going to be residual adhesive and paper on those pans, and all they do is they got a dishwasher who's doing a great job, but he's spending a lot of time doing it to scrape that stuff off the pan. Competitive label. Understand, we are day dots. You guys sell the original. We started this category. We built it. We're the ones who made Mondays blue. We're the ones who made Thursdays brown. That's us. This is our business. You see a competitive label in there, take it personal. They're selling a knockoff of your stuff. So how do we sell against a competitive label? Kind of a tough sell. Customers taking food rotation seriously. They're buying a real label. Arguably, they're probably filling it out correctly, and you know it's cheaper than ours. So how can we help the customer?
Push innovation, so like the dissolvable labels.
You could go dissolvable, could go innovation, or prep and print. Change the conversation. You're not going to save them any money on the label, and it's probably going to fall on deaf ear. Unless you're in really tight with a customer, they might be like, why are you buying a knockoff? Buy mine. Okay, man, I'll do it. Most customers aren't going to care. We've all been buying Chinese stuff off eBay and Amazon for years, so we all are all guilty of buying copies of stuff or whichever. You go prep and print. Change the conversation. To properly fill out a label, 7 to 10 seconds to fill out a label. You can pencil this right out. I just did it for a couple of the guys that I was riding with. At a small account that's doing 75 to 100 labels a day, filling it out properly, and not paying their guys anything. Because remember, these are cooks, these aren't dishwashers. It's not uncommon to have cooks 25 bucks an hour, 30 bucks an hour. Dishwashers, sure, minimum wage, but a lot of the times the cooks are making a couple bucks. At 15 bucks an hour, this $1,200 printer pays for itself in 8 months. That's how much it can save them in labor. Every 8 months they don't buy one, they threw one right in the trash in labor. How many people have customers with prep and print? How many of you have gotten a panic 911 phone call when that printer broke? That's how fundamental that thing is to the operation. It fundamentally changes their operation and frees up so much labor, they put it somewhere else in their kitchen. And when it breaks, and they do break because they knock them off the counter, when it breaks, they can't even fathom going back to handwriting labels. Believe in that. Think of that. Draw from that when you're talking about a $1,200 printer. It's the cheapest thing they bought for their kitchen because they're hemorrhaging labor by not having it. Gloves. Everybody needs gloves. 150 to 300 bucks a month on average is your customers spend on gloves. Now, we are priced very, very aggressively in poly and vinyl. I'm not saying go after your Cisco and US Foods business, but I'm telling you, you're cheaper. You come in about $6 a case cheaper, $4 a case cheaper on average. Go ahead.
So I was kind of told that maybe we're not supposed to go up against Cisco's glove business.
Correct. So when it comes time to, if you have a customer who's with Cisco or US Foods and they're using their gloves, you have that conversation with your district manager whether or not you want to go after that business. If you're opening a new customer though, you set them up direct and you sell them gloves. You get in there, whichever. Look through your book of business. When it comes to our relationships with distribution, and I usually like this part if there's any DSDMs in the room, whichever. It's the DSDM's job to grow sales through distribution. It's your job to grow sales. If distribution is the best channel for you to sell, you go distribution. If it's not, you go with whatever channel you need to sell into that customer and to grow your business and to grow your territory. So yes, don't go after and poach Cisco's glove business. But it's either Cisco or US Foods. I think it might be Cisco. Customers want to use, they're starting to understand colored gloves. There's two colors you typically see out there, blue and purple. Ours are obviously blue.
See like black.
Black from US Foods.
I know the black. I know the black. I don't know when a bunch of mechanics wanted to become cooks or when a bunch of cooks decided they want to be mechanics, but black, huh? Yeah. Black doesn't help the customers understand. I was just in somewhere where we were jump starting a barbecue spot, and we kicked black gloves out of there just right off the bat by talking to them. Specifically about them being barbecue, charred meats, black meat, like you can't see a piece. And just tell them, we've all worn gloves. We've all worn 100 gloves. We've all looked down and like, oh shit, gloves ripped. Let me throw it down. Where'd the piece go? If you don't know where the piece went, you could assume it went into the food. It went somewhere. Hopefully it didn't, but it might have. We have nothing for you. We don't offer black gloves. They don't belong in the kitchen. You just need to have the conversation of why a colored glove is important, a blue or a purple glove, because there's no blue and purple food. That's the whole point of that's why all of our first aid is blue. That's why all the gloves are blue. That's why you're seeing these colored gloves pop up in the kitchens, is to help you not have any pieces of glove in food and you don't send anything embarrassing out to the public. Nitrile, we are not overly competitive on nitrile. All right, we're not competitive at all on nitrile. The figure $50. That's what you're going to see out in the field. $50 a case. $50 for 1,000 gloves is 5 cents a gloves, 10 cents a change out. Look at the chart though. What's the only thing that nitrile does better than vinyl? Stands up to cleaning chemistry. Have the conversation. That's how you can help them. Chef, why are we using a level 3 glove to dice onions? Whether you buy it from me or buy it from anybody, nitrile's an expensive glove. You're using a very expensive glove to cut tomatoes. You can usually get traction on nitrile business by talking about converting them to vinyl and saving them the money. Retail price on vinyl is 3.5 cents a glove, $35 a case. You can save them 30% on their glove business by converting them from nitrile to vinyl. And that's at killer nitrile prices. That's if they're getting nitrile at $50. A lot of people are paying more than $50 for nitrile. So 30% you can save them right off the bat by converting them to a vinyl program. That's a big difference when we're talking about a $5,000 number, a $3,000 number a year to them. You're helping the customer. You're being a consultant. We talk about selling. I dropped the name. I dropped selling a few times through this. Understand your role with our customers. None of you are salesmen. You're consultants. You're professionals. You're not selling to anybody. You're just having conversations. Your customers, particularly at the street level, it gets a little bit blurry when we're talking big corporate accounts, whichever, but at that street level, a lot of the times, you guys are talking to the general manager and the owner. They're working 10, 12, 14-hour days, busting their hump, trying to build a brand, trying to build a legacy to take care of their family and take care of their kids. You're there to look out for them. You're not selling them stuff. You're helping them. You're merely pointing out where this brand that they're working so hard to create is in danger. And you have a solution. And it's up to them whether or not they want to buy the solution. Don't build the conversation bigger than it needs to be. You're the professional. You're the food safety. You're the chemical professional. This is what I see. This is how it can potentially damage your business. And this is what I suggest. And let the decision be up to them. And if they don't buy it, they don't buy it. You move on. You might only sell 1 out of 10 people you talk to on any given thing. But you're going to sell none of none if you don't have the conversations. And don't think of it as selling them something. Nobody at this company wants you to sell the customer something they don't need. We want you to be the consultant. We want you to learn their business and protect their brand. You're not selling them gloves. If they're using latex, you're helping them. There's allergy problems with latex. Ask them. When you see latex in a kitchen, what are we doing, chef? Like, okay, fine. You know, you don't want to call their baby ugly, but just ask them, have you had any reports of allergy problems from your staff, from your customers? If you're using a latex glove to prep ready-to-eat food and it goes out the front door to a customer with a latex allergy, you're going to mess with them. They're going to have a reaction in your restaurant. So you're just helping them. With the nitrile, you can usually win the business by converting them over to vinyl business. Testing supplies. chlorine. We have, this is actually not QT40. This is pH test strips for your Asian restaurants, for sushi, for rice, for testing the rice, make sure the rice is good. We've got fryolator test strips. T-sticks and high temperature, T-sticks and premium dishwasher temp labels. Why do we have both?
You can use T-sticks for food.
I've never heard that, but yeah, sure. Yep, we use a T-stick for actual food. They both turn black when they hit temperature. You get about 1 million of these for like 50 cents, and these things are like 20 bucks for 16. That's kind of a disparaging range. Like, why? What's the difference between the two? Are they doing the same thing when you run them through a dish machine?
Well, you got the ones that adhesive, we can put it on a little plate and have it heated up and get a better reading on it.
Right. He's talking about this one right here. He says this adheres to the plate. Why is that fundamentally different from a T-stick?
It's not surface.
Yeah. T-sticks measuring water temperature.
75%
The label's measuring surface temperature.
That's it right there. What are we doing with a high temp dish machine? We're sanitizing with temperature, right? We're all wash experts. What do we need to sanitize with temperature?
160.
We use 180. We need to get the wares to 160. We need to transfer enough thermal energy to the wares that we raise the wares to 160. What do we need to do that? 15 to 25 psi. We need a good spray pattern on those rinse jets. We need the booster heater dialed in at 180 to 195, not too hot, not too cold. We need a good volume and good pressure going through those lines. Does a T-stick check all that? No, that son of a bitch comes out the machine and goes, something hit 160. I don't know what. You could have half your rinse jets not working, and that T-stick's going to come out black. When you attach this to a pan and send it through, it simultaneously checks all 4 mechanical things to make sure they're right. There is a very specific difference between a premium dishwasher temp label and a T-stick. If you have a customer that cares about brand protection and protecting their customers, you're there once a month to check that machine, to verify that it's working, that we're sanitizing and we're protecting their customers. How are they checking it the other 29 days of the month? They check it with this once a day, sending it through. Sell them this. That's how you point it out to them. Sell them this. You stick it to a pan, chef. You run it through once a day. If that son of a bitch don't come out black, you call me. I'm coming in to check it out. Something's wrong. If that comes out black, you're solid. Your customers are safe. Keep going. Go ahead.
I got a question. I'm not sure if you know this, but do they have expiration dates? The T-sticks and the other ones?
Don't know. Don't want to bullshit my way through that answer. I'm not sure.
Golden Crow asked me, the general manager asked me yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know if the T-sticks do, but the adhesive ones do.
The adhesive ones do? Yeah. So yes is the answer, according to Jake.
No, they do.
Yeah.
What happens if they expire?
They buy new ones.
They just don't, I'm saying they just don't work, like they won't turn black.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
It's probably the adhesive won't work. It probably won't stick to the pan good, so maybe.
A lot of customers tell me that it changed color back.
Yeah. So, but you could see this testing category. You know, when you go into a customer account, don't reach into your bag for a roll of QT40 to check that 3-comp sink. We have to check the 3-comp sink. Use the customers. Oh, we don't have any. Well, why not? Should I order you some? Oh, they're locked in the office. Oh, can you go get them? Oh, man, yeah, please go get them. Make them go through the steps. Because we've all heard it. They're locked in the office. They have their manager. Have them go find the manager. Make a big deal about it. And at the end of that checkout, when you're merchandising the value of what you did there, you got to have that conversation. We should really put a testing station out at that 3-comp sink. They need to be able to test this. They need to check it twice a day to make sure that we're protecting your customers and you're not liable for a health department violation. They can't do that. I know you're running around doing a million things. Your minimum wage dishwasher, we all know it's not going to come here and bother boss man to get a test strip to check the sink. We need to get that out of the sink. It's what's important. If they start testing it, they're going to go through a lot more. You're not going to see rolls sitting out there from 2013 that are still out there. Floor tools, obviously Duralock. We're going to go through, everybody here knows Duralock, right?
Yep.
It's kick-ass. What's the stripe on the, what's that colored stripe there in the middle of our deck brush? Is that a Sonic the Hedgehog? Is that a racing stripe? Those bristles are 80% stiffer than the bristles on the outside. That's for getting into the grout line. You can actually put some elbow grease into our deck brush. The colored bristles are going to spread out, and then you have a nice solid right there in the middle so they can scrub the grout. Anybody know what's different about our grease release mops? Why they're 12 bucks a pop?
It lasts forever.
Because they're designed to take up 50% more liquid and at the same time, design washing is 50% more.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they release liquid, but they release a grease, importantly. How do we do that? It's very similar to DuPont. It's very similar to Scotch guarding your couch or your carpet. We've got a coating on there. Grease is going to stick to anything with surface tension, okay? So we can get the grease off the floor. The goal is, can we keep it from soaking into the fibers of the mop? That's what's happening in the cotton mop heads. That's why they're throwing out their cotton mop heads in 3 or 4 days, and why they smell rancid, because they're growing bacteria, because there's so much grease that is embedded into the mop. We can keep a lot of that from happening, and we've seen in the real world these mops last 3 to 5 weeks. So much longer than those $3, $4 cotton mop heads that are out there. That $12 cotton mop head is the cheapest thing. It's no different than everything you've sold. It's the lowest, you know, let's not talk about case price. It's about use cost. It's the exact same idea. This tool system is the lowest use cost system on the market. Yes, it costs $350 to get into it. Not important. I'm going to lower your total cost on floor tools all the way around. You're helping the customer. And understand, this was built, it's one of the only NSFI rated floor cleaning systems on the market. The NSFI is a National Floor Safety Institute. We have a certification from them that using our toolkit is guaranteed to increase traction in your restaurant. You don't get that from Rubbermaid. You don't get that from wherever tools you're buying, but you can get it with Duralock. Very, very cool. I don't need to spend too much time on Duralock. Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. We generally had Duralock rammed down our throats, but it's important. A lot of this sounds repetitive, and it's supposed to be. These categories, this 5+1 training is supposed to be repetitive. It's as repetitive as dish machine detergent. It's as repetitive as quat sanitizer. It's repetitive as floor cleaner. It's supposed to be in every account. So none of this is new. None of this is overly, well, I'm lying. We're about to get into restroom products. That's new. But every single customer needs floor tools. This is the lowest use cost system that they can buy. You're going to save them money in the long run. It's not about the system being $350. It's about what they spend a year on handles, on mop heads, on squeegee heads, on all those replacements. They're going to be able to lower their price by getting into Duralock. Duralock's warranty, one of the best ones in the business. You got 3 years, 3 years on the tool holder system and the holders. Sorry, oh, that must be the head. Mop bucket's 24 months, which is different from the ringer. That's only 12 months. I know that gets a little confusing. And then 6 months and 3 months of the various, the dustpans and the squeegees and things like that. CarePod. What's another name for CarePod? How about dispenser? Dispenses Band-Aids and finger cuts. Cintas. Everybody seen Cintas in their buildings? Cintas box. What's Cintas selling with that box?
Service.
More importantly, more than service, what are they selling?
Full stock.
They're selling compliance. Takes 18 specific items mandated by OSHA that they have to have on site, else they can be sued by their own people. Cintas's business model. When you're selling CarePod, this isn't about Band-Aids and finger cots, whichever. Don't worry, we're not overpriced. Pack of Band-Aids, 50 Band-Aids, I think it's like $3, $3.50. We're not overpriced on it. Don't get into the conversation of their baby's ugly, our first aid is better than their first aid. Irrelevant, it's first aid. With the Cintas model, they're buying Band-Aids, they're buying finger cuts. They're gonna buy Band-Aids and finger cuts from you. It's irrelevant, it's a zero, just shelve that, you're not even talking about that. It's the compliance model. And Cintas has a business, and it makes sense. If they don't want to get sued, they have to have these 18 items on site. Cintas's business model is, you know what, Jeff? It's really important that you have these 18 items, but it's way too complicated for you to deal with. It's probably best that I send somebody in. I'm going to charge you $17 a month. I'm going to send in a tech. We're going to make sure that you have the items on hand so that you're in compliance and you can just worry about making burgers. Makes sense. That's worth them paying it because they don't want to get sued for 50 grand because they didn't have a knuckle bandage or something that they had in there. Our business model, we made a system so damn simple, anybody can be compliant. You open the box. Is it full? Yes, you're compliant. Leave. Don't worry about it. Check it next month. Well, what if my customers use the last Band-Aid and throw the box away? There's a picture sitting on the back on what to order. Fill the box. And you're going to set them up on the website and show them how to get the refills and put it in there. That's the whole pitch. You're not selling against Cintas's Band-Aid and finger cuts. You're just trying to save them $200 a year. This kit's free. It's free. How can we not sell it? Let me take that Cintas box off the wall. My box pays for itself in less than the first year. It's gonna last you 10 years. I'm just trying to put $2 grand back in your pocket to put it back in your operation. You're not selling them first aid, you're helping them. You're helping them save $2 grand over the next 10 years so they can put it back in their system and be compliant and take control of their first aid. You don't even have to get into implying that Cintas throws away half-full boxes of Band-Aids, which they do. Doesn't even matter. You're selling against 200 bucks. You're offering a free first aid kit to do it. It's gonna pay for itself in the first year. Everybody needs this on the wall. If they're doing their own first aid, whether it's a CVS or Walmart first aid kit, or we've all seen the Rubbermaid box with just shit thrown in there, well, then you just revert right back to the Cintas model. You help them understand that there's 18 specific items they need. You could even reference Cintas's model, because if they're working in the restaurant business, they've seen Cintas boxes everywhere. And you can explain to them how important those 18 items is, that Cintas has built $1 million plus business model taking care of first aid for people because of how important it is. And you've done it in a way where it's very, very simple. They can do it themselves and they can be compliant, and you can get it up on there, get it there on the wall. You might hear from them, health department's never said nothing. You say, yes, I know, because they don't check it. They're not gonna check it. It's an OSHA thing. And what do we know about OSHA? Everything is fine till it's not fine. And then OSHA's down your neck. They should understand that. They'll get it. When you talk to them, they'll get it. Just help them understand there's 18 items they need. What are the 18? Well, what 18 items do I need? I don't know. That knows. I don't even know. I don't know what the 18 is. Not important. All I know is somebody smarter than me thought about it, and they put it in a box and made an easy way to follow. You're just trying to save them 200 bucks a year if you're selling against Cintas.
Cintas first aid, is that an all you can drink, or do you pay by the box?
No, you pay by the box. That's what I talked about when, so that's 17 bucks a month that they pay Cintas, and that's kind of an average. It's really like 15 to 20. You may have customers that are paying 20 bucks a month. They're just paying for the service and the compliance. They're still buying the Band-Aids and the finger cots and the knuckle bandages separately. They're gonna buy them from you separately as well, so you can just shelve that whole conversation. It doesn't matter, it's a sunk cost. They're buying it either way. You're pitching a free first aid kit against them blowing 200 bucks a year. It should sell itself. You should be able to help them out. So new products, there's a couple of new products for restrooms that we're gonna talk about. Richard nailed some of it. We've got the Euro screens, the air freshener. There's some other stuff that's on there, but that's our new product section that's in the catalog. We have a new catalog coming out next month, so we are gonna start shipping it. We're printing them right now. We have some more new stuff that's gonna be in there, but this is just for this year. Restrooms. That restroom zone's worth $300 to $450 per year. These are hands down. I mean, I get excited for FSS. For all the men in the room that have ever tried them and have been into a bathroom that has them, these are the best ones out there. No lie. Zero splashback, nothing on your shoes, nothing on your pants. They smell great and they really help the bathroom. We have tons of customers out there that have a problem in the bathroom. How many of us have seen a can of Glade in a bathroom? Can we agree? There's nothing grosser than a public bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
If we use them out of necessity, but nobody likes them. Do you want to grab a can of Glade after the last guy that needed to grab a can of Glade grabbed a can of Glade? No. That's a Petri dish sitting right there, right on the counter. They need to get that out of there. And how expensive is a can of Glade? Easy Fresh Air Cover, $4 a month for 30 days of fragrance. Nice and consistent.
I've sold lots of those.
I've sold them too.
Awesome.
How much do your customers love them?
I actually sold them and they didn't tell me. I said, let me know when you get them, I'll hang them for you.
Yeah.
And went into the bathroom, I'm like, man, it smells good here. And I realized, I looked up on the wall and I'm like, oh, they already put them up.
Nice. I like it.
So, yeah.
So single.
And their bathrooms are terrible. They smell. I told them, I said, you guys got to do something.
Yeah. And that's having the conversation. That's being the consultant. Psychologically, our customers connect the bathroom with the kitchen. They're both wet rooms, they're both tiled, they're sinks, they're, whichever. They're not the same. We know they're not cooking in the bathroom. I'm not saying that, but we tie them together. Their customers aren't able to walk through their kitchens, which is probably a good thing for a lot of our customers, but they're going through their bathrooms. Point out to them, be like, the big chains get it. TGI Fridays, Chili's, Olive Garden, they understand it. Corporate accounts understands it. They always have bathrooms well put together. They're well-oiled machines. They're part of the customer experience when they're in the restaurant. Customers are dying in our bathrooms at the street level. They're just not doing anything. You can help them out. $4 a month. There's technology built in that thing. We've all used an air freshener that hangs from the rearview mirror, right? So the way this fan works, you put a new cover on there, you open it up, the fan turns on once about every 5 minutes. Just gives a little hit. Then the next week, it goes about every 3 minutes. And the third week, it goes about every other minute. And the fourth week, the fan just stays on. $4 a month, constant stream of fragrance in the bathroom.
And each cover comes with the battery every time they...
The case, so it's $49.50. That's retail price. It's $49.50 for the case of 12. Every single cover has a new battery in it. There's nothing for them to buy. It's $4 a month, honest to God. That's what it takes for them to control the bathroom. The scent in their bathroom, they got 2 bathrooms. You're looking at $100 a year just in air fresheners.
The only pushback I got is theft of it from some of my customers, so theft of the air freshener device.
That's, yeah, I mean, gotta talk, I mean, I don't know what to tell them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell them. If their customers are stealing stuff, their customers are stealing stuff, it's gonna be part of their cost of business. It is. Yeah. Eco Bowl clips, same idea. So this is what you can use in the women's bathroom or bathrooms that don't have a urinal. Urinal mats and sink mats. What's the whole idea behind mats? Why do we have them?
So you don't have water all over the floor.
So we don't have water all over the floor. It's about controlling the splash zones. Any customers that have air hand dryers, they could use a mat on the floor underneath the air hand dryer. The whole idea, we already talked about it. The bathroom is the grossest area in the restaurant. We don't want a wet floor for customers to track those germs back into the dining area. We want to try to isolate them and keep that in the bathroom. You're helping them. You're not selling them any floor mats. You're helping them control germs. This is an idea. This is where we get the numbers from. So this is a basic small customer. They got a men's and a women's. We figure a urinal. We called it a urinal mat. I keep meaning to change this. We called it a urinal mat. Let's just say mat. Maybe you didn't even get the urinal mat, but you got sink mats, one for the men's and one for the women. You didn't even get everything that's in that we've just talked about. $450 a year. Repeatable sales. All grow, all OTS. And you don't have to sell it again next year. It's a program. All you do is check on it when you walk there, make sure nobody else is poaching your business, which is no different than you're doing for your 3 comp and your mod closet anyways. That's it. That's the 5+1 categories. 5 kitchen categories plus that restroom category. All of them are grow. A lot of them are mandated. All of your customers are using them. From your $1,000 a year customers on up to your $100,000 a year customers. Now, granted, I know the bigger customers, you're probably not going to go sell a casino, on something really, really easy. But you've got a lot of customers in your book of business that you can get after and help out. Any questions on the 5+1 before we move on? Pretty powerful. That sheet in front of you is a very, very powerful sheet. And honestly, it really, really is. So we are getting in the fight against diversity in P&G, and we're throwing around prep and print printers to do it. Those $1,000 printers that, customers' eyes pop out when they hear the price. Real quick and easy. If the customer is a diversity or P&G customer, this includes everything under their umbrella brand. Remember, diversity is just like we are. They've got, 4 or 5 brands. Good.
Ron McGarvey was the first one in the country to sell one.
Nice. On this promo? Good job, man.
They had to figure it out for us.
Yeah, we did, yeah. Oh, is that what it was? Is that what we were working on? Yeah. Nobody knew how to order it yet? Yeah. Well, now I have it. Call FSS customer service. We figured out how to get it ordered. So, long and short, we're giving away a free printer. If it's $5,000 a year customer or more, you could throw around a $1,000 printer and you're going to lock in that $1,200 label business, and instantly you're going to give away something and instantly turn a $5,000 customer into a $6,000 customer overnight.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
So how we closed this account, Rod sold it was about worth $25,000, and we wanted to get the order in because they're kind of getting a little wishy-washy, and we pushed that and go, man, we have to get it in by the end of the month, or the promo's gone.
Yep.
And they'll go, okay, we need to go. I mean, Chef was all over it.
Nice.
They're digging it now, aren't they?
Good. I love it. So this is tracked at the area level and it is audited. What does that mean? We're going to check that customer after 12 months to make sure that it's hitting $5 grand. If it's $4 grand, 4,200, don't worry about it. Nothing bad going to happen, whichever. But long and short, if the customer doesn't hit at or around $5 grand a year, we're going to charge that customer back to Jake. Don't be afraid to use the promotion. Don't be afraid to leverage it. Jake's willing to buy a couple printers at the end of the year if we undershot the customers. If you don't know how to size a customer, talk to your DM. He'll help you size a customer. Honestly, because there's no checks and balances here. If you call customer service, tell them you won the business, gave them an institutional number, they're going to send you a printer and that's it. And we're going to check it later. Leverage it where it makes sense. Don't worry. Jake will buy a couple printers if he has to. If we misjudge the size of a customer, just don't be the TM that Jake's got to buy 10 for at the end of the year because he's going to be upset. Does that make sense?
Anybody would ever overestimate the value.
No, we've never done. We've never opened so many $5,000 a year 3 comp and mop closet accounts in Blitz Week as I've ever seen in my entire life. Everybody's got a $5,000 account they're opening up. So, and to that point, we're not checking this against Salesforce. So do whatever you got to do to make your Blitz Weeks look great. I'm not saying anybody's doing anything. Just don't call customer service and order a printer if you know that that's a $1,500 a year customer, a $2,000 a year customer. Because we're not going to check. We're going to send it, and we're going to charge Jake if the monies don't come in.
And I'm not going to pay for that, so.
Any questions for the Diversity and P&G printer promo? Goes on all year. Probably going to be next year, honestly, too.
I think there's a way to back that out of commission, right? If it's not that actual.
I can't speak to that. I don't know. All right. Chatter. We've talked about Chatter. To enter the Chatter contest, you can't. Do you guys have a WCA Chatter group? You do. Okay. So if that's your root Chatter group that you post in, that's fine. You can post there. You have to tag at a minimum institutional US field. Also, if it's FSS, certainly tag to all that. It's got to be an FSS post to win the contest. I mean, post in Chatter no matter what your wins are, but for the contest, it's got to be FSS. And tag myself. Tag at Aaron Victor. I'm still committing to it. It's starting to become big that I've got to reply to every day. But if somebody tags me, you're going to get an honest reply from me. I'm actually going to read your post. I'm not just going to be like, boom, or some one word reply. I'll actually read your post and I'll make a post to bump you back up. The whole idea is to get people reading it, get people commenting on it, and bumping your post back up so that people are reading it, people seeing your name, they know that you're out there, you're moving and shaking, you're getting things done. Resources for selling. Obviously, you got the food safety website. We're going to talk a little bit more about the customer version of the website. That's our number direct into FSS. You can call the field support line. We're option 7 off of the VRU. But if you want to add it to your phone, that's the number to slam in directly into FSS customer service. I'll stay on this slide for a minute so you guys can grab it. We have a bunch of different catalogs, but really that's the main one. That's the big one, so one everybody loves. We brought it back, I think last year, the year before. For a while we didn't have it, but that's the big catalog. It's available below to be ordered. We are on ESS. We've got a couple of quick links, but honestly, when I was a TM, I never used the links. Just search. You search Duralock, click it to marketing, you'll find everything you want on Duralock, everything you want on CarePod, it's all out there. YouTube. If anybody's not having success with Duralock or CarePod, just get their attention. Go to YouTube, search it. Marketing's got bomb videos out there. That Duralock video has brought a customer for me from, there's no effing way I'm going to pay $350 for a mop bucket to, I need 2 of these in 2 different colors. I want one for the back and one for the front. It's 3 minutes worth your time. Let the video sell for you, and you'll learn the pitch just by listening to the video. Go ahead.
Plate scraper's a good one too.
Plate scraper's a good one. Is there a video on YouTube about plate? I didn't even know that. Check out the plate scrape video. That's not on YouTube. Chatter. There's a support. There's support out there for Chatter. You can ask questions, but really, your FSS champion.
Make sure we get this YouTube. Brandon, all you did was just put in plate scraper. That's it on YouTube. And it just pops right up.
We try uploading a lot of stuff to YouTube because we know, admittedly, the FSS website slows down, the ESS website slows down, but YouTube works. So marketing is started. We have our own channel, and we upload a lot of videos up to YouTube. So check it out. And then the weekly communication email that you'll get. It's usually a marketing email that comes from FSS, and it'll give you a little something. It's worth a couple minutes to peruse and read. So the FSS retail website. How many people set up customers on the website so they can order for themselves? How many people have no idea what I'm talking about? Oh, I'm sure there's a couple. No? Okay. So, things to think about. And there's some frustrations that I know people have with FSS, and they don't know why. Why do they do everything different? Why is everything a problem? It always seems like pushback. The no runs strong at FSS. It does. The old joke, thanks for calling FSS customer service, knows the answer. What's your question? That I get it. I understand what's going on. Understand we bought them. all right? It's part of Catalyst. It's part of this whole thing. It's part of how we're on different computers with different systems that don't talk to each other. Corporate accounts, triply so. You guys talk in contract names, we do by customer. So you're like, oh, I got this one contract. I use it all the time. I sell. How come I can't just get pricing of that contract? Because we can't do it. We don't do it that way. We have to do it by customer. So things are different. One of the things that are different that's a positive thing for you, FSS is the only retailized division in the entire umbrella at Ecolab. That's Nalco, ProGuard, K, Textile Care, Hospitality. All of those things you need to have an account and a rep in order to buy from, except for FSS. That means the website will sell for you. We have a website built to drive sales that you can link to your customer accounts and let it sell for you. How many people have drunk at Amazon? I've done it. Come on, seriously, no, one guy. No one else has ever drank an Amazon.
Everybody's done it.
Boxes. Everybody's done it.
No one admits it.
Chefs do it too. All right, I'm not lying. It's Thursday night. They got an extra 50 or 75 covers they weren't expecting. They had a great night. Chef's halfway through a bottle of wine in his office, and his cooks have been bitching about their cutting boards all day. Oh, let me go check out FSS. It's happening. I'm not making this shit up. We've seen chatter posts. I've been pushing this since February. We've seen chatter posts from TMs that have got their customers set up, and then they use the tool to go back and look. Like, I didn't even talk to them about knives. I never even talked to them about floor mats. The FSS website is like their kitchen-focused Amazon.com. Give it to them. Go ahead.
I just want to point this out that I've been using the FSS website at like long-term care facilities and stuff, housekeepers with Duralock and the urinal mats and stuff for bathrooms, and they're ordering it right up there, so don't pigeonhole yourself into just restaurants.
Honestly, good point. Good point. Go ahead.
How long does it take? It's been a while since I've done it. How long does it take, start to finish, to set up a custom item?
We're going to go through it 45 seconds.
Perfect.
Very, very easy. We're about to go through it. About 45 seconds. All sales generated apply to your sales and commission credits. So don't worry about missing out on that money. Take yourself out of the loop if you can. $2.3 million miss. I wonder what I mean by that. So Duralock. We asked you guys to sell Duralock, right? And we rolled this out, what, 2 years ago? Almost 3 years ago now, I think. We're getting pretty close. About 3 years ago we rolled it out. And we asked the field to sell $2 million worth of Duralock. You guys killed it. You slayed it for us. Sold $8 million. But we noticed there was a problem. The reorders weren't there that we promised everybody. Didn't make any sense. We're like, well, the tools are good, but they're not that good. We got CarePod, started seeing the same thing in CarePod. We're like, what the hell's going on? CarePod by itself doesn't make customers safer. They're still cutting their fingers. They still need knuckle bandages. What's going on? So we thought there was a problem. So we started an outbound call center. We parsed the database, and we made a call list. All we did is we called on customers that had bought Duralock, CarePod, or labels in the past and hadn't put in a reorder in 3 months. So that's 90 days with no sales before they even qualified to be on the call list. 2 people sold $2.3 million in Band-Aids and mop heads to your customers that we'd already sold the system to. They'd already bought into the system. They didn't know how to get the stuff. They thought you were the only way to get the stuff. They can't find it on Amazon. They can arguably find it at Cisco, but they can't find it. If it's any other distributor, most likely they can't find it. It's not at Restaurant Depot. How many people sold Duralock circled around in 6 months and there's a competitive mop in a Duralock bucket? Probably because they didn't know how to get mops.
Did those 2 people get the commission from this?
No, all those commissions still went to you. We've since expanded that outbound call center to 4. We're not taking away commissions. We're still giving you guys commissions. If it gets sold to an account, you get your commissions. The point is we got to make it easier. We had a huge miss. We went out there and we nailed Duralock and we nailed CarePod and we're having a lot of success, but we left and we walked out. And the customer was thinking, I just bought in this system, and it's my only guy that I know how to get it from. And what if you sold it to a non-anchored customer that you were just opening up, one of those 3 and mop closet accounts? You guys are hitting 60 and 70% for call coverage on your anchor accounts. We got to get better about that. But what about your non-anchored accounts? We all know you ain't seeing them and talking to them. We got to circle back around. We have to set them up on the website, walk them through it, and make sure they're comfortable with the website. And if the customer orders from their website, they always get $9.95 flat rate shipping up to 240 pounds. 240, 250. I mean, 240 be safe. 250 is like when we start cutting it off. Okay, so how do we set up a customer on the website? You need two things. If you have an invoice, it's very, very easy to get to two things. Just get it, get an old invoice from the customer. However you're gonna do it, you can use your web tool. You can call customer service and have them email it to you. You can grab the customer's invoice. If the box showed up, you ordered them. It's a new account, and you just you send in CarePod, and you're there to install it, and the invoice shows up. You have an invoice. Go ahead.
I have a really easy time, and I just call FSS, and then I just say, hey, I need a number, and they also normally just give me an invoice.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the second easiest way. And even if they don't have an invoice, even if the customer has never ordered yet, just call customer service. Hey, I got a brand new customer. I'm setting them up right now. I just sold them a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to set them up on the website so we can process an order. Just ask, can you give me the two numbers I need to set them up? And they're going to give you two numbers. If they've ordered before, they're going to give you the customer number and an invoice number. If they haven't ordered, they're going to give you the customer number and another number. I don't even know what it's called. Doesn't matter. They're going to give you two numbers. You go to the website. You're going to click sign in. You're going to put in the customer's email address that they want to use, and you're going to click I am a new customer. You click forward. It's just like signing up at any of a million websites we've been to. First and last name, have the customer choose the password. Slightly strong, not obnoxiously strong. We probably accept whatever they standardly use as a password. I think you gotta have what? I can't read it, I don't even know. It's not a whole lot. It doesn't have to be an overly strong password. They're gonna put in a password, then it's gonna ask you for the customer number. That's the first number. If FSS gives you two numbers, it's the first number that they're gonna give you. It's the customer number, you put it in, you click next. Now it's asking for one of these 7 numbers. One of them is invoice number. You're going to go ahead and put that in if you have the invoice. If you don't have an invoice or it's a new customer, you'll simply just put in the second number that the customer service gave you when you called. And you're done. 45 seconds, start to finish. You now have a website selling for you. Once you click finish and complete, it's going to pull you back around. Now the customer can log in and see it. This is specifically different from your web tool. When you guys log into the web tool, the video that we saw, that is a complete list of your customers, whether they've been set up or not. If you've got a customer that's buying FSS Direct, set them up on the website. Go ahead.
So regarding that, is there a way for us to, on that full list of our accounts, can we get their account number for this system off that?
Don't know. I don't want to bullshit my way through that. Sure. I think it's the institutional account number that we list because that's what the field talks in. Sure. Most of the time, you never see FSS account numbers. I want to say that those are the longer, because our account number is shorter. I think it's the field account number. So it's not. Go ahead.
Any old FSS invoice.
Any old FSS invoice. If you've got one, you can set up the customer.
Wow. Well, and you can pull any active invoice.
Or you can pull an active invoice. On G360, you can use a web tool to find an invoice for them.
This on your G360,
yep.
If you pull up a food safety solution invoice on that customer, it's got all the information.
We got to get back out there. Huge miss. Thank you so much for kicking ass selling Duralock and CarePod. Sorry to send you back out there, but get back out there and let's get our customers signed up to the website. Make sure they're comfortable with the website. Explain the benefits to them, $9.95 flat rate shipping, that they'll see their history of what they ordered. So when they go to process a reorder and they're like, oh, I need more quad strips or I need more gloves. Which gloves do I order? Which Duralock refills do I order? Because there's 5 different colors, there's 3 different mop heads. That'll all be in their order history where they can just re-add it. Go ahead.
While we've got them on that screen there, make sure that we add that to their web browser favorites too.
Add it to the favorites. Make sure that we click cookies to remember. Make sure that we click remember passwords. Make it easy for them to do it. Go ahead.
To get to that, it's at the bottom of that sheet.
Yes, the website. Okay, so it's foodsafety.ecolab.com. You good?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I just got gonged out.
We did. 15 minutes over.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, come on. That is a ton of information. I went through 2 things in like 45 minutes, man. All right.
These guys got to drive 3 hours.
All right. That's what I got, everybody. I'm in town for another day. I want to get you guys free and let everybody finish up. Any other questions that I can answer right now? If you think of something, I know we went through it fast, check with your FSS champions. I'm in town the next couple days. reach out to your DM. They can get questions to me, and I can get it answered for you very, very quickly in the next couple days.
Cards to hand out?
Huh?
Your cards to hand out?
I don't. You got to go through FSS Champion. Honestly, that's how we built it. Because I have
I don't like my
107.
FSS champion.
Huh? I have 100, and that's not. You know, I'm sorry that it works out that way. I have 170 champions that I deal with. Each one represents about 10 to 15 of you. So if you can imagine if that many people were emailing me directly
I
with
was in the
problems.
car with them for 45 minutes. It was getting calls after calls like mine.
So we really want you to go through your champions.
Broken.
Your champion has a direct conduit to me. So if they don't have the answer, they're going to learn. Help them learn. Ask them the question. They will ask me, because odds are if you have a question, somebody else is going to have a similar one, and they'll be able to start railing off the answers as well.
Aaron, you know, thank you. We see the passion. All right, no, we really do. No, seriously, this is a good class. So let's give them around, man.
Thanks, everybody.
Like Aaron said, go through champion, something really big. Champion will take care of
That was a
Aaron.
lot to get through
Aaron does a
45
great
minutes.
job following up, though. When I had a bunch of cutting boards, you know.